How would you define reality? So this is actually a question that I've been struggling with. It is probably the reason why I've been having so much trouble sleeping for the past week. It really sort of started when I started college, but it's gotten more intense over time. Every few years, or every few months, I experience these events or learn something new about the world or about myself that just fundamentally changes what I think is true about the world. It's made me very skeptical about what I think. Trying to figure out if what I believe is true, what do I believe, who am I, what are my skills, and what should I do with them? The first major experience was discovering that transgender people exist, that there was this entire community in the world that I knew nothing about, but that fit who I am. I had words to describe myself that I'd never had before, all of a sudden. Another example, just a couple months ago I was writing an article for the Extra Life community website about Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, and as I was reading reviews of Advent Children, this article just turned into this giant 10-page essay just analyzing the film and the characters and its themes, and it was sort of a review of the literature as well. Every review that I could find on Advent Children. When I was writing this paper, I was having trouble sleeping at night. I would spend every day writing this article and thinking about it every hour, and then I would think about it all night. And at the time I didn't know why it was so upsetting. I was so angry at these reviews of this movie. It's just a movie, isn't it? Reviews about it were so wrong, all of them. It's like they never watched it at all. Like, for example, they say it's photorealistic. It approaches photorealism, but it still has that very stylistic anime art style. But making that comparison sort of associated the movie with this stereotype that, photorealistic movies don't have a story. That's not true of Advent Children. If you dig into it, it just has this really nice message in it that I think anybody can relate to. Looking back on it now, ever since this movie came out, I accepted this reality that this virtuous and good movie shouldn't mean anything to me. I was just an idiot for loving it. I was angry because I had believed these reviews without really thinking about it. And I'm sort of going through that again. The question this time is, if I can't get a job where I would like to have a job, what does that say about my education and about myself? Are people really as desperate for programmers as they say they are? Do employers actually care about how much college you have? Am I a competent person? Can I speak English? Or if I can't do either of those things, can I lie well enough to convince someone that I can? And so far the answer to some combination of those questions is no. And if that's true, what do I do about that? Was college a waste of time? Will I always be incompetent? How can you have a master's degree and absolutely no qualifications to have a job? So I think the answer is, I don't know what reality is. I don't think anybody knows what reality is. And I think it's a matter of accepting that you don't know. And you shouldn't assume that you know. As my dad would say, I'm trying to find the truth.